All right, let's talk about the one thing, the single most vital element for any business to survive. And it's not profit, it's not even revenue, it's cash. Just think of cash as the fuel in the engine. I mean, without it, even the most powerful, impressive machine just grinds to a complete halt. So today, we're going to dive into how to manage that fuel effectively.
So here's a question to get us started, kind of get the gears turning. Think about this for a second. A company's financial statement, it shows a really healthy profit. They're selling stuff, they're making money, at least on paper. So can they still fail?
The answer is a huge, and honestly, for a lot of people, a kind of shocking yes. And that's the big puzzle we're going to solve today, how a business that looks profitable can go completely bankrupt just because it runs out of actual physical cash to pay its bills, its employees, and its suppliers. Yeah, this whole thing is what we call the profitability paradox. See, profit, that's just an accounting concept. It's revenue minus expenses, all on paper. But cash, that's the real money sitting in the bank. And you know what? Confusing those two is one of the fastest ways a business can get into some serious trouble. Okay, so how do we solve this paradox? Well, you do it by mastering cash management. Think of it like the circulatory system for your business. It makes sure the lifeblood, the cash, is flowing exactly where it needs to go, right when it's needed. Let's get a really clear definition down. Cash management is the active process of handling your cash flows. See, it's not passive. You don't just let it happen. It's a system you put in place to make sure you always have enough liquidity, enough cash on hand to meet all your immediate responsibilities without any drama. And here's a really key insight. Cash management is both a defensive and an offensive strategy. Defensively, you're basically building a shield, protecting yourself from disaster, like going broke. But on offense, you're actually creating opportunities, like optimizing any extra cash you have or cutting down on unnecessary borrowing costs. It's smart on both sides of the ball.
So the ultimate goal is actually pretty simple. It's all about planning and control. You want to get to a point of stability where you're not constantly stressing about making payroll at the end of the month. It's about having a clear, predictable view of your financial runway.
A company's need for cash isn't just some random thing. It's influenced by really specific factors. A retail business, for example, is going to have these huge seasonal swings around the holidays. But a software company with monthly subscriptions, their cash flow is probably way more predictable. Understanding these factors is really the first step to getting them under control.
So let's do a quick recap of this first part. The big idea is control. It's about controlling the movement of your money so your business stays liquid, stays healthy, and is always ready to meet any financial obligation that comes its way.
All right, so we get the what and the why. Now, let's actually build the blueprint. How do you do cash management in the real world? It's not magic, I promise. It's a really clear, repeatable process. I mean, that's the core question, isn't it? What does this master plan actually look like? Well, luckily, it breaks down into a few logical, totally manageable steps. And here it is, the blueprint. It's basically a continuous three-step loop. First, you plan. You forecast all the money you expect to come in and all the money you expect to go out. Second, you create a cash budget, and this thing becomes the central roadmap for your business. Then third, you control. You're constantly checking that budget against what's actually happening and making smart adjustments along the way.
Now, let's dive into the core engine of that whole plan, actively managing the two sides of the cash equation. This is where the strategy really comes to life.
It really boils down to a pretty simple two-part strategy. On one side, you're doing everything you possibly can to get paid faster, and on the other side, you're being really smart and strategic about when you pay other people. Get your cash in quickly and let it go out slowly and deliberately. So let's look at inflows first. These are all practical, actionable things you can do. Don't wait a month to send an invoice. Send it the day the work is done. Make it super easy for people to pay you. And, offering a small discount for paying early can be way more valuable than chasing down a late payment for weeks on end.
Now for the other side of the coin, managing outflows. This is all about control and timing. Can you maybe negotiate 60-day payment terms with your suppliers instead of 30? Can you schedule your big bill payments for right after you get that big check from your biggest client? Every little bit of timing you can control really helps improve your cash position.
So that's the real key takeaway here. If you remember nothing else, remember this dynamic. Accelerate your inflows and manage your outflows. This one simple principle is the core engine of really effective cash management.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground, from the big, high-level ideas down to the nitty-gritty tactics, so let's just wrap it all up with the most important points you should take away from all this.
Okay, here are the 3 most crucial lessons. Number 1, never ever confuse profit with cash. Number 2, your cash budget is your single most important financial tool. Use it. And number 3, be proactive. Don't just sit back and let cash happen to you. Manage its flow with real intention.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you understand this secret language of cash flow, this difference between looking profitable and actually being cash healthy, how does that change the way you see the businesses all around you? That bustling restaurant, the cool new tech startup, the corner store? What do you think their cash flow story looks like? It's a whole new lens for understanding the world of business.